Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. I'm really glad you are here today. I'm Fatima Kaddoura, clinical psychologist here in Modesty Health Abu Dhabi. Before we start, I just want to say this isn't going to be a session where you sit and listen passively. I'm going to ask you to reflect, to think, and to notice your own pattern, because resilience is not something you understand intellectually only. It's something you experience. Also, just a quick reminder, some of the content might feel a bit personal or activating, so please take care of yourselves during the session. You can step away, pause, or just listen quietly if that feels better. For sure, we have time or the less than minutes for question and answer. The session will be recorded, and so you can access it again after the webinar has ended. The content of our webinar today is to talk about resilience for sure, define resilience in a practical way, understand our window of tolerance, and I will give example about it to regulate our nervous system, learn how to build internal and external resources, and apply daily strategy to strengthen resilience. For sure, we have a very fruitful topic today in this stressful time, resilience. So resilience is not just about, we talk about often misunderstood. So it's often misunderstood from people like as being strong, unaffected, or always in control. But actually resilience is not about avoiding stress or difficulty. It's the ability to adapt, recover, and continue functioning despite challenges. So it's not about whether you struggle, because everyone does. It's about what happened after the struggle. Think of resilience as flexibility rather than strength. The more flexible you are emotionally, sorry, I don't know what happened to the camera. So think of resilience as flexibility rather than strength. The more flexible you are emotionally and cognitively, the more resilient you become. It seems like I have issue in my camera today. I will give you an example of this of resilience. So, for example, two people can experience the same situation. One become overwhelmed and stuck. The other struggle, but eventually adjust and move forward. That's different in resilience. For you, let's make a quick and sample reflection. Do you feel, for example, how much do you rate your resilience today now from 1 to 10? You can drop it in the chat. Interesting. I can see a mix here. Some of you are feeling quite stable, others maybe not so much, and that's actually very normal. Resilience is not constant. So before also going to talk about what can maintain our resilience or building, or how can we build our resilience, because my resilience matter a lot for me, and how do I react in difficult situation. So resilience protects mental health, reduce us from burnout, and improve coping with stress and strengthen relationship with others. It supports long-term well-being. It's not just at the moment. It's long-term well-being and success by helping you navigate life's challenge more effectively. We have to talk about window of tolerance, because the concept of our window of tolerance to tolerate what's happening around us comes from trauma psychology and describes the zone in which we function most effectively. Within this window, we are calm, focused, and able to think clearly and respond appropriately to stress. Outside this zone, we may experience hyperarousal, hypoarousal, and disconnected. So to understand this resilience better, we need to understand how the nervous system works. And this is where the concept of window of tolerance comes in. It refers to the zone where you are functioning at your best emotionally, cognitively, and behaviorally. Inside this window, you are able to think clearly. Here, as you mentioned, present and the green color, present, calm, engaged, thinking clearly. It's our logic brain that it's worked more. Outside the windows, your system becomes dysregulated. Like, for example, when you move outside this window, we usually go in one of two directions. As you see here, we have three colors, the red, green, and the blue. So outside the window of tolerance or the regulation system, we have hyperarousal. This is when your system is overreacted. You might feel anxious, overwhelmed, reactive, restless, or unable to focus. It's more our emotional brain that activated in this phase. Second, sometimes we are hypoarousal. This is the opposite. You may feel numb, disconnected, low energy, or shut down. So the hyperarousal or the hypoarousal, you may feel shut down, disconnected. It's we call it the reptile brain. So we have two kind of things, hyperarousal and hypoarousal, and with these two phases we are dysregulated. And in the middle we have the optimal phase when we regulate our emotion. Neither hyper or hypoarousal is wrong. They are survival response, but staying there for too long make functionally difficult. Right now, I want you to focus about yourself, about your body, and would say you are mostly inside the window of tolerance. You can regulate your emotion, or outside the window of tolerance in the hyperarousal or the hypoarousal. Can you please drop it in the chat? Yeah, I have some answer that kind of between. Yeah, actually, all people move between the hyperarousal and the hypoarousal every day. So people move up and down, and it also come down to a hyperarousal at the same situation. But our ability how to manage and to regulate our emotion, it's more important because resilience is built through these repeated small recoveries. This happens through repeated regulation. The more you practice bringing yourself back to balance, back to this window of tolerance, become over time, and you will be more, or you'll have more resilience. So the goal is not to stay calm all the time. We wish that we can stay calm all the time. That is unrealistic. The goal is to expand our window of tolerance. So in a way, we can handle more stress without becoming overwhelmed or shut down. Um, so how can we do this? Or how can you ask yourself, you might ask yourself, for example, how can we go inside the window of tolerance in the optimal phase? How can we regulate our emotion when we are moving up and down? Anybody have any idea about it? How can you regulate your nervous system? How can you regulate emotion? How you can tolerate it? Okay, not really. It seems not all people know how to regulate. There's a lot of technique when doing something I like. I'm here to solve that issue. Yeah, Jessica is here to solve this issue. So interesting answer, because sometimes people, they don't know how to regulate their emotion to activate again the logic brain and to regulate their emotion. There's a lot of technique that we can use it to regulate our emotion and stress. We will take some technique today to teach you how to regulate your emotion, or how to navigate again in the optimal phase to regulate your emotion. Self-awareness is very important. It's the foundation of resilience. It involves noticing your emotion and thoughts in the moment, identify personal trigger, and paying attention to body sensation. Techniques such as reflection, journaling, or simply pausing to check in with yourself help you understand your pattern and response. By becoming more aware of how stress affect you, affect your body, affect your behaviors, you can intervene earlier and use strategies to maintain balance. So before you can regulate anything, you need to notice it. It involves noticing your thought, what I'm thinking right now about myself. For example, I'm safe, I'm not safe, I'm not good enough, I'm in danger, I can't tolerate. For example, I have to notice my thoughts, my emotion. Am I sad, anger, anxious for, and the body sensation that I feel it now and right now. Most people don't notice stress early. They notice it when it becomes overwhelmed. So when they becomes overwhelmed, they will notice the body reaction, their emotion, or they are stuck, or they are freeze, or they are angered. So when they are overwhelmed, they really noticed the body sensation and the body emotion. Just I want you to take a moment and reflect. What are your early signs of stress? What do you notice first when you are stressed? Can you drop it in the chat, please? Angry. I need to take more deep breath. I get really anxious. Yeah, it seems a lot of mixed interaction, lack of concentration. So see, once you notice stress, the next step, you can regulate it. So angry. Yeah. Regulation means bringing your system back toward balance, toward the window of tolerance, toward the optimal zone, to activate our logic brain and to think logically, to regulate our nervous system. And importantly, we start with the body, not with the thought. We can use a lot of regulation strategies like breathing technique, as mentioned in the chat, grounding technique that make us feel present in the moment, physical movement, meditation, and some relaxation technique. This will help us a lot to regulate our nervous system. Building resilience resource. I don't want to extend more about the regulation technique, like breathing technique. Most of you, I assume that you know the breathing technique, how to inhale and to exhale in a very calm way to regulate our adrenaline in our body, and do some grounding technique to feel more present. I want you to focus more in this webinar about also some maintaining resilience and building our resilience. Resources are very important in our daily life. It's not just the resilience is not just internal. It depends on the resources available also to us. This include people, activities, internal strengths. Many people underestimate how important external support is. So do you feel you rely more on yourself or on other? Some people rely on the other support system in their life. When we talk about internal resources, we talk about our skills, hobbies, what we can do, what kind of techniques do we have to regulate our emotion. And external resources, we talk about people that surround us, whom can we rely on. For example, now you can just take a moment and think about a person that you rely on wherever you felt stress or you felt you need person to talk with or to regulate yourself more. Just think about him or about her. Okay. Resource mapping activity is a practical exercise to identify your support system and coping tools. You can start daily by listing people you can rely on during challenges, then note activity that help you calm down, like for example, breathing technique, doing sport, journaling, reading a book. You can list it also or note it as an activity that help you to calm down and to recharge. Such as a hobby, also journaling or exercises, as I mentioned. Also think of safe physical or mental space where you feel secure. Will help you to be always, when you move up and down the window of tolerance, to go back to the optimal phase or to the logic brain. Daily habits also are very important, like maintaining a regular sleep schedule. This is support mental health, clarity, and emotional stability. Balanced nutrition, fuel the body and mind. Physical activity, even in small doses, reduce stress and improve mood. A structured routine create predictability, making it easier to manage daily challenge without feeling overwhelmed. Will help you also to feel like you are in the present moment and to make the brain feel like it's safe, nothing changed. What kind of activity for you, for example, you regulate or you help you recharge? Can you drop it in the chat, please? Watching movie for sure, listening to music, Pilates. Yeah, Pilates do a lot. Okay, great. Since we regulate our body, as I mentioned, we have to shift to cognitive strategies. It's very important also. Involve working with your thoughts to improve resilience. Sometimes we experience negative thought that activated our negative emotion and we will behave in some situation differently. So reframing negative thoughts help you view challenge in a more constructive light. Developing a growth mindset emphasize learning from mistakes rather than fearing failure. Practicing gratitude daily encourage a positive outlook and recognition of strengths and achievement. We can have this kind of gratitude activity to set in it our gratitude from life. Reframing thought are very important because we usually noticing our body reaction, our emotion, or our behavior in some situation, but we cannot notice our automatic thought or our automatic thought that could be also negative. This negative cognition or negative thought lead us to feel and to react in some behavior. So thoughts are not fact usually, they are interpretation of the brain from a situation. It's kind sometimes of alarm system. So reframe our thought. It will help us in regulating our emotion and our behavior. Emotional and behavioral resilience also are included in our session today. regarding emotional means allowing ourselves to feel emotion without becoming overwhelmed by them. It included accepting emotion, labeling them, expressing them appropriately. Also regarding behavioral, set boundary to protect time and energy with other, manage task and time effectively, and take breaks to rest and recharge. So usually these kind of cognitive emotional emotional and behavioral, it will make the lead set of our resilience. Do you tend to suppress emotion or express them in life? Can you type this in our chat? I always try to express my emotion. Good job. Expressing our emotion is a very good way to maintain also regulation, social communication, or connection increase resilience by providing emotional support and reducing feeling of isolation. Sharing challenges with trusted individual can lighten emotional burden, while asking for help is a sign for strength, not weakness. So building meaningful relationship fosters a sense of belonging and reinforces the capacity to handle stress. Okay, so shifting to very important reflection in our session today is coping with setback. So setback and failure are natural part of growth. I want to talk about a very important sector in our session. It's a little bit, I want to mention post-trauma growth, because we cannot just talk about resilience in life without mentioning the trauma growth. Resilience help us get through difficult experience, but sometimes something deeper can happen. The post-trauma growth, when people don't bounce back, because in resilience we bounce back, as I mentioned, in window of tolerance. As much as we have shutdown or hyperarousal, we always bounce back. But when people don't bounce back, what can they do? What happened? A transformation that could happen that allow a person to grow beyond their previous level or functioning. A transformation in our relationship, appreciation of life, new possibility, spiritual. So we can also experience growth, not just negative things from a trauma or from negative event. I want to mention an example about a psychiatrist called Viktor Franklin that went through of suffering in the Holocaust. So Viktor Frankl experienced pain, loss. He lost his relative in this Holocaust, and he experienced a lot of suffer. And instead of talking about his suffer like people usually talk about their pain, their suffer in life, he didn't accept to talk about this pain. He was able to transform his pain by finding what was meaningful for him in his life to be able to endure his suffering, starting practicing as a doctor. And most importantly, he started writing about his growth after trauma. And his book, if someone is interested, called Man's Search for Meaning. This is how can we also find a meaning in life for our suffering instead of just focusing on the pain. So might of you ask, what do you mean growth? How can I talk about growth in the suffer or in this pain. I lost my parents, for example, or I lost a lot of people. But actually, we can talk about growth after trauma. This transformation, it's not about avoiding pain. It's about how we relate to it. He turned suffering into meaning, purpose, and a deeper understanding of life. So you are not defined by what happened to you, but by how you respond to it. Focus on what it's meaningful for you in your life, in your resource. And later we will talk about also some resources, technique that will help you in this. It's growth. It's to step back outside of our center, suffering to go out to the world and how we can transfer into our resources, external and internal resources. So resilience helps us get through difficult experience, but growth, it helps us how to open to the external world and use this pain and suffering to manage and to continue. I just want you to reflect and to notice yourself, notice your body. Just close your eyes and take a very deep breath. And let's reflect together and invite any emotion that might arise when you think about your pain or your stress in the right moment. Just take a deep breath. And just focus in your body and invite any emotion that might arise when you think about the moment. Give it space. And now I want you to reflect back on the growth that this tension and pain is invited you to open up to. You might not have an answer right now, but be open to what you might become. And now I want you to take a deep breath again and just think about your present moment in the session now. Now, since we talk about resources a lot, internal or external resources, and how to regulate our nervous system, I want you to just, I will do 2 exercises. The first one is, resource 1 is the 4 element. The 4 element, it will focus about the 4 element in life: earth, air, water, and light. I just want you to close your eyes again and take a deep breath. And we are going to learn how can we reduce stress and feel more in control with the 4 element exercise today. First, I want you to notice how much stress you feel in your body right now on a scale of 0 to 10. 0, no disturbance at all or no stress at all, and 10, the most disturbance you can feel. And I want you to start it with your feet. We will begin the first element, the earth. Place both feet on the floor and just feel the floor and the chair supporting you. Take a minute to land, to take some time out to be here and now. Notice that at this moment, we are all together. You are as safe as you can be at this moment. Now, going up your body for the second element, the air. Notice your breathing. Just focus on your breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Letting the air go all the way to your stomach as you count to 4. Just take a little moment and focus on your breathing. Breathe in. Breathe out. And let's take a minute for 6 deeper, slow breaths like this. As you come back to yourself, your center. And now continue up your body to the third element, the water. Is your mouth dry? Do you have saliva? When you are anxious or stressed, your mouth often dry up. But when you are making saliva, it's a sign that you are relaxing. Take a minute to make more and more saliva. If you have a drink, water available, take a sip, or you can imagine the taste of any drink you like. As you do this, you may also notice that you have more and more focus and control of your thought and body. Now, with your feet on the floor, breathing more deeply and slowly, making more and more saliva. We move to the fourth element. Light, bring up an image of a real or imagined place, situation, activity, or a person that helps you feel calm and safe as you can feel now. Just focus on this image and notice how your body is reacting toward it. I will count to 3 and you will open your eyes and notice what surrounds you. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Can you drop me a chat? How do you feel now? Is there any shift in your body? Can you just drop shift? Feel more relaxed. Yeah, shift. Okay, great. So we will move on to our second resource technique, resource development installation. It's a stabilization technique used to strengthen internal resources as calm, strength, or safety. It involves identifying a positive memory or image evoking associate positive feelings and body sensation. We will use some bilateral stimulation to instill this feeling in your body. I just want you to remember a time when you embodied a feeling of or a quality of being calm, strong, safe experience in your life. Just try to recall a situation when you felt stressed, experienced some challenge, and after this challenge you noticed that you were strong enough or safe enough. Just take a moment to recall this time. It could be a time at your work, or with your family, with your friends, any situation that you experience challenge, and after that you notice your resources like strength or courage. Describe in your mind, just try to focus about the experience. And as you think of that resource or quality, notice, what do you see? How do you see yourself there? And what does this make you feel now? And just focus, what do you notice? How are people reacting that moment? So maybe it was a moment of proud, a graduation, or any other positive feeling. Just focus on the feeling and the positive experience. And how do you feel in your body? I want you to bring up more this image. It's like you are making a zoom in it. And notice more, where do you feel those sensations in your body? And allow yourself to experience them fully. And if you notice any positive feeling, just try to tap in your shoulder bilateral stimulation like this. This will help you instill your positive feeling in your body. Okay, just focus about the feeling in the body and just tap. Yeah. Just feel your quality. What do you notice now? If you want, you can drop it in the chat. Is there a word or a phrase that represents this resource? Sometimes we choose a cue word that represents all this feeling and quality. Just think a little bit. Just think a little bit about your quality, the feeling in your body, and what kind of words you can choose to summarize all this feeling. And notice the positive feeling you have when you think about this word. So just try to repeat this word in your body. For example, if I will choose courage, I will just try to notice and repeat the courage in my brain, and just notice what kind of sensation this word will make in my body. And concentrate on those sensations and the word. And just try to tap like this bilaterally on your shoulder. So focus on the sensation while you are saying the word in your mind, and just tap. Okay, great. Now I would like you to say that word and notice more how it feels. If you feel positive, I want you to imagine yourself that you would like to manage, or any situation in your future life. Maybe tomorrow you have an interview, or you have any challenge situation, I just want you to imagine how you can cope positively using this word. So what we are trying to doing here is to make a link between the word and the positive feeling in your body in a way that wherever you experience any challenge in your life, you can just try to recall your resource's name, courage, for example, and just feel the sensation that's related to this. And sometimes if you feel positive feeling in your body while you are mentioning this word, you can just try to tap here, or sorry, to press here, and to make a link in your body between the body sensation and the word. So just try a little bit to take a moment and imagine yourself stepping in any challenge, future situation. And if you notice any challenge in this situation, you will just use your resource word to overcome this challenge. Just try to run a movie on this situation and how you can overcome the challenge by using the word. And if you feel positive and you overcome or overcame this challenge situation by using your word, just tap bilaterally in your shoulder. If someone feel free to share your words, your cue word, you can also put it in the chat. Your resource word, your magical word, that it will hold a lot of positive emotion and resources that you can use it in your present and the future life. And now I just want you to take a deep breath. Open your eyes and just notice a color, a red color, blue color, for example, that surrounded you. If you have any perfume or a candle beside you, that smell it. And bring your mind and body to the moment of here and now. Just try to focus on my voice and that we are connected together today, here and now. Okay? So I hope our session today helped you how to provide or to benefit and transform your struggling or your stress and transforming to growth, to positive moment, how you can open to the world from your suffer, from your pain, and just focus how you can react, not just how you are struggling in it. And instead of reacting to overwhelming, you can respond from a place of stability by using your resources in life, by using some technique for regulation of emotion, as I mentioned today, the 4 element. I put you in the reference some technique like to understand more about window of tolerance and how we can regulate it. And I put also the 4 element technique that it can help you to ground yourself and to be in the present moment. I hope you will find it and use it. This session is recorded, as we mentioned, and you can see it after this session. If you have any question, I'm here, so happy to answer. And if you struggle with your emotion or in any stressful life, we are here in Modestly Health to support you.